9. 7:15 p.m., Thursday, June 18th. Nick's ass going upstairs turned out to be the distraction Riley had been looking for. Staring at worn denim moving over taut muscle had an anesthetizing effect on the panic she'd spent all day squashing. Griffin's ass had always been a little too flat for her liking. He didn't have any tattoos either. Or dimples. He'd also never voluntarily carried anything anywhere. Not groceries, not laundry, not even Riley across the threshold on their wedding night. He claimed it was because his hands were an important part of his job. He'd taken his class in on-camera gesticulations very seriously. Nick, however, carried groceries like a champ, and his ass was much, much nicer. She also caught a glimpse of ink on his upper arm when it peeked out from the sleeve of his t-shirt. Her brain coughed up another glimpse of that hideous bedspread and glorious naked flesh, causing her to stumble on the stairs. She wondered if there was any way to will one vision to actually happen, naked hot Nick, while preventing another, dead Dickie. "You okay back there?" he asked with the sexy arch of an eyebrow. "Yep," she lied. "Falling down the stairs is a hobby of mine." He gave her an "I know you were checking out my ass" grin before continuing up. They made it all the way to the 3rd floor without spotting any other neighbors. Riley stepped past him and unlocked the door. "Come on in," she said, glancing nervously at Dickie's closed door. Her underwear-dropping neighbor would be royally pissed if he knew she'd helped a PI track him down. But if her vision actually came true, Dickie had bigger problems than trademark infringement. Nick wasn't here to hurt Dickie. She was reasonably certain. Maybe she didn't exactly know how to wield her wackadoo gifts, but she wasn't getting any homicidal maniac vibes from him. Besides, it would have taken her 2 trips to haul all of the groceries herself. "Nice view," Nick said, nodding toward the river through the dormer windows. He put the bags down on her sliver of countertop and started unpacking them. Riley blinked and then stepped in to start putting the food away. "Thanks." "Might be the ugliest couch I've ever seen," he said, eyeing the offending brown and green checkered love seat. He wasn't wrong. The previous tenant must have had a cat because stuffing was actively trying to escape one of the arms. "It came with the room," she said. He held up a bag of cheese curls in one hand and seaweed crunch treats in the other, the look on his face questioning. She took both bags from him and opened the cabinet above the sink. The cheese curls went in first, followed by the seaweed bag propped in front as camouflage. "What?" she asked, noting his appraising look. "You're a good girl, aren't you?" he said. She was immediately offended because he sure as hell didn't mean it as a compliment. "Excuse me?" "You live alone, but you make your bed every morning," he pointed out. "A lot of people make their beds every day," she said haughtily. "You didn't blow my cover in the parking lot when you had the chance just because I asked you nicely." "I didn't want to cause a scene and endanger my 80-year-old neighbor," she insisted. "You didn't do it because I asked you not to. It's as simple as that. And you like my dimples and my ass, but you haven't flirted with me at all." He said it with a suggestive eyebrow wiggle. "Oh, please. Maybe I'm just not attracted to you," she shot back. "Yeah, I don't think so." He said it with the confidence of a man who was every woman's type, which only served to annoy her further. "Face it, Thorn, you're a good girl, a nice girl, a rule follower." "Spoken like the high school bad boy who never grew up," she huffed. "You wound me, Thorn." "I doubt that." His grin was lethal. "You know what I like about a good girl?" "Please, enlighten me," she said with an eye roll. He reached into the cabinet above the sink, plucked out the seaweed snacks, and tossed them to her. Behind every good girl facade is the urge to do something bad. He pulled out the bag of cheese curls, opened it, and helped himself to one. He was standing in her kitchen, flirtatiously offending her and eating her snacks. She was both outraged and outrageously turned on. "Okay, buddy, my turn," she said. "Have at me," he said, opening his arms in invitation. "Fine. You're one of those rebels with no cause, the rule-breaking, I can't be tied down to a job or a woman type. I bet you've tossed your fair share of leather jackets over your shoulder in your bad boy career. You claim you don't want normal because normal is boring, but that's all a facade." "What is it I really want, Thorn?" he asked. Those blue-green eyes were warm, entertained. She wasn't sure which one of them was enjoying the naughty, naked vision that started playing in her head. "Maybe you get off on the whole black sheep routine, not because you hate normal, but because you don't think you can hack it. Maybe you want to be the guy who shows up on time with no reason roses or doing daycare drop-offs, but you don't think you can, because you don't think you're reliable or responsible enough." Nick studied her for a long beat, and then the smug, gorgeous son of a bitch popped another cheese curl into his mouth. "I like you, Thorn." "Gee, I'm so happy to hear that," she said dryly. She snatched the bag out of his hand and pretended not to watch him lick the cheese dust off his fingers. "You know, I was thinking," he began. She knew exactly what he was thinking. "Nope. Since we're dating and all," he continued. "Not dating," she corrected. "And since I need to wait for your fake uncle—" "N-O. How about I order us a pizza and we hang out here in your conveniently located apartment? Have ourselves a date night." Nick Santiago was dangerous. Maybe not in the here-to-murder-her-neighbor way, but he definitely was not safe. "Thanks, but I'll pass," she said. "See? There's that good girl again," he teased, taking a step toward her. "Saying I'll pass instead of get the hell out of my apartment, Nick." The testosterone exploding forth from his pores was acting like a drug on her own body. Her heart was tapping out "hot guy alert" in Morse code, and her nipples had at some point turned to stone. "Thanks for the help. Now, get the hell out of my apartment, Nick," she said. He flashed her that killer smile again, and she knew she'd only managed to entertain him. Zing! Hormones instantly flooded into her system. But Riley Thorn was smarter than hormones. She took him by the arm and escorted him to the door. Nick paused in the doorway, his eyes locking on hers. She could smell his dryer sheets and deodorant, feel the delicious heat his body pumped off. She wondered if he was about to kiss her, or maybe she was about to kiss him. "See you around, Thorn," he said, chucking her on the chin. "Bye, Nick." She watched him leave. Worn denim over muscled ass, white t-shirt flexing over broad shoulders. "Yoo-hoo, young stranger," Riley heard Lily call. "Can you help me move some furniture in my bedroom?" Riley crossed to the top of the stairs. "Nick's leaving, Lily. He doesn't have time to come to your bedroom," she yelled. Nick glanced up and sent her another sexy grin, accompanied by a casual salute. Look at the patootie on that one. Riley couldn't argue with Lily's inner observation as Nick Santiago walked out of both their lives.